Have you ever found yourself wondering, does he truly miss me? Maybe you're analyzing his texts or replaying your last conversation in your head, searching for clues. Well, let me tell you something, you're not alone. So many of us find ourselves caught in this whirlwind of uncertainty. But here's the truth. When a man genuinely misses you, it's not a subtle thing. It's not just words or fleeting emotions. It's a feeling that shows up in his actions, his priorities, and even the smallest of gestures. Here's the problem, though. Most of us have been fed misleading ideas about what it looks like when someone misses us. We think it's all about grand, romantic declarations or constant contact. But what if I told you that the real signs are often quieter, more profound, and deeply rooted in psychology? What if you could decode his behavior and understand exactly what his actions reveal about his feelings? In this video, I'm going to unravel the mystery and give you the tools to recognize the signs that he truly misses you. These aren't just cliches or surface-level observations, they're based on real emotional patterns and timeless principles like Stoicism and Stoic dating, which teach us to value actions over empty promises. Each sign will pull back the curtain on his heart and show you the kind of love and care you deserve to notice. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll not only have a better understanding of how to spot when he misses you, but you'll also see your own value in a completely new light. And trust me, the last point is something you absolutely cannot afford to miss. So, are you ready to dive in? Let's get started. 1. Actions speak louder than words. Think about this. When a man truly misses you, he doesn't just say it, he shows it. Words can be sweet, even poetic, but actions are where the truth lies. So, how do his actions reveal that he's missing you? Imagine this. You wake up one morning to a message from him, a simple, thoughtful "Good morning, I hope your day goes well." That may not seem like much at first glance, but here's the thing. Sending that message means he woke up thinking about you. He made an effort to let you know you're on his mind, even when he could have just gone about his day. That's not a random habit. It's a clear sign he's craving a connection with you. But it doesn't stop there. When he misses you, he goes beyond routine texts. He finds ways to be present in your life, even when he's not physically there. Maybe he remembers a small detail you mentioned weeks ago, like how you've been stressed about a work presentation, or how much you love a certain type of chocolate. Out of nowhere, he brings it up, showing you that he's not only listening but that he cares enough to remember. Does this sound familiar? If it does, it's his way of saying, I care about you even when we're apart. Now, let's talk about something even deeper, his priorities. When a man misses you, you'll see it in the way he rearranges his time for you. Maybe he's got a packed schedule, but he'll find time for a quick call. Maybe he's not a huge fan of texting, but suddenly he's the first to reply to your messages. Why? Because he wants to feel connected to you, even if it's just for a moment. This isn't about convenience, it's about effort. And effort is everything. But here's the catch. Effort isn't always grandiose. Sometimes it's subtle. Maybe he sends you a funny meme that made him think of you. Or maybe he reaches out to ask how you're feeling, even when you didn't mention anything being wrong. These are the quiet, consistent ways he shows that he's missing you. It's not about dramatic gestures, it's about showing up for you in small but meaningful ways. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how he pays attention to your needs when you're apart? That's another sign. Maybe you're sick, and he offers to send you soup or medicine. Or perhaps he remembers to wish you good luck before an important meeting. These actions scream, you matter to me, even when I'm not with you. And that's the kind of connection we all deserve, one that's rooted in thoughtfulness and care, not just convenience. But don't confuse actions with overcompensation. Some people might try too hard to make you miss them instead of genuinely showing they miss you. Real effort doesn't come with strings attached or expectations of immediate reciprocity. It's sincere, thoughtful, and grounded in respect, values that align beautifully with Stoicism, which teaches us to focus on what's genuine and intentional rather than superficial. So here's a question for you. Have you noticed his actions speaking louder than his words? If so, it's time to start paying closer attention to those little things, Because when a man truly misses you, he doesn't leave room for doubt. He shows you again and again in ways that make you feel valued, cared for, and yes, missed. Now, what about when he doubles down on communication, finding every excuse to stay connected? That's coming up in the next point, and trust me, you'll want to hear this. 2. Increased effort to stay connected. Have you ever noticed how a man acts when he's truly craving your presence? When he misses you deeply, you'll find that his efforts to stay connected are unmistakable. It's as if he's searching for any excuse, no matter how small, to bridge the distance between you two. And here's the thing, this isn't about being clingy or overbearing. It's about showing you that you matter enough for him to make the extra effort. Picture this. You're scrolling through your phone and suddenly a text pops up from him. It's not just a hey, but something meaningful. Maybe it's a funny meme, a photo of something that reminded him of you, or even a simple I miss you. These aren't random messages. They're his way of saying, I want you to feel how much you're on my mind right now. When a man misses you, he doesn't wait for the perfect moment to reach out. He creates the moment. You might notice he's the first to text in the morning or the last to say goodnight, making sure you know you're the bookends of his day. He doesn't let too much time pass without checking in. Why? Because he knows that even small gaps in communication feel like an eternity when you truly miss someone. Let's talk about those late-night texts. Maybe he texts you at 11 p.m., saying something like, I just thought of that time we went to insert memory. I can't wait to do it again. Do you feel the weight of that? He's not just reminiscing, he's anchoring himself to the connection you share. These moments, especially when shared late at night, reveal his vulnerability. He's letting you into his private world, showing you that he's not afraid to miss you out loud. But it's not just about texts, is it? When a man truly misses you, he'll find ways to hear your voice. He might call unexpectedly, not with a specific reason, but just to catch up or say, I needed to hear you. If distance separates you physically, he might suggest a video call or ask you to send a voice note. Why? Because hearing your voice or seeing your smile fills the void that missing you creates. This effort isn't forced, it's natural. And when it happens, it's his way of saying, you're worth every moment of my time. And let's not forget how he keeps conversations alive. Have you ever had a man who's so eager to keep talking to you that he finds the smallest topics to discuss? Maybe he suddenly becomes curious about what you ate for lunch, asks for your opinion on a random topic, or even sends you a guess what happened today text. These aren't fillers, they're lifelines. They're his way of keeping you close, of making sure you don't drift too far from his thoughts. Here's a question for you. How does it feel when someone makes the effort to stay connected like this? Does it make you feel cherished, seen? That's exactly the point. When he genuinely misses you, he doesn't want you to feel forgotten or distant. He's not just maintaining communication, he's nourishing your connection. And if you're still unsure about how to spot this sign, consider this. When was the last time he made you laugh unexpectedly, even through a simple message? Laughter, after all, is one of the purest ways to bring people closer. If he's going out of his way to brighten your day or bring a smile to your face, he's showing you that even when he's not with you, he's thinking about how to make you happy. This is where stoicism comes into play again. A man who truly misses you will show emotional depth through his actions, but he'll also respect your space. He understands balance. He's not bombarding you with messages to demand attention. Instead, he's offering genuine connection. This level of emotional intelligence aligns perfectly with Stoic dating principles, where the focus is on meaningful, respectful relationships that allow both partners to thrive. So, let's take a moment to reflect. Does this sound like the man in your life? If he's finding ways to connect with you, even in the smallest ways, it's because he's telling you without words, I miss you, and I want you to feel it. If this resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Let me know by liking this video and dropping a comment with number 1 below. And if you're loving these insights, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos that decode relationships, boost your confidence, and give you the tools to recognize your own worth. Trust me, we've got so much more to uncover together, and you won't want to miss a thing. Now, get ready for the next sign, because things are about to get even more revealing. 3. Expresses his vulnerable side. When a man truly misses you, it does something profound to him. It softens his edges. He begins to express parts of himself that he might usually guard. Vulnerability, after all, is not something many men show freely. But when he feels your absence deeply, that emotional wall he keeps so carefully intact starts to come down. And what's revealed underneath is raw, real, and full of meaning. Imagine this, you're talking to him and out of nowhere he says something like, "I've been thinking about you a lot lately. I didn't realize how much I'd miss you until now." That's not just a casual comment. That's him allowing you into a private space in his heart, a space where he doesn't worry about appearing too emotional or weak. For men, especially those who align with principles of Stoicism, being vulnerable is no small feat. It's a testament to how much he values you and trusts you with his feelings. But vulnerability doesn't always come in the form of overt confessions. Sometimes it's quieter. Have you ever noticed him sharing more about his personal struggles or fears when you're not around? Maybe he tells you about the stress he's feeling at work or a challenge he's facing in his personal life. These moments are significant because they show he's not just missing your presence, he's missing the emotional support and understanding you bring into his life. And let's not overlook how he reminisces about the past. If he's missing you, you'll notice he brings up shared memories more often. It might be something as small as saying, "Remember that time we went to insert place," or as tender as reflecting on the way you made him feel during a certain moment. These aren't just random musings, they're his way of reliving the connection you've built together and holding on to the emotions tied to those memories. It's his way of keeping you close, even when you're far apart. Now, let's delve deeper into why vulnerability matters so much. Society often conditions men to suppress their emotions, to wear an armor of confidence and detachment. So when he chooses to let that guard down and let you see his true self, it's because he feels safe with you. He knows you won't judge him or take his vulnerability for granted. That kind of emotional safety is rare, and it only happens when there's a deep connection between two people. But here's the tricky part. Sometimes his vulnerability doesn't come out in words at all. Instead, it might show up in his behavior. Maybe he checks in with you more often or asks questions that hint at his deeper feelings, like, "Do you ever think about me when we're not together?" Or, "What do you think would be different if we lived closer?" These aren't surface-level questions. They're his way of gauging if you feel the same pull toward him that he feels toward you. There's also a chance that his vulnerability shows in the way he reacts to your absence. Maybe he admits to feeling lonely or restless when you're not around, or maybe he starts taking small risks, like opening up about his dreams, insecurities, or what he truly wants for the future. These moments might seem subtle, but they're monumental for him. They show he's not just missing you, he's also grappling with what your absence means for him emotionally. Here's something else to consider. When a man misses you, his vulnerability isn't just about what he shares with you, it's also about what he shares with himself. He starts to confront feelings he might have avoided before, like how much he values you or how afraid he is of losing the connection you share. This inner reckoning is part of why missing someone can be so transformative. It forces him to face his emotions head-on and decide what he truly wants. Now, let's circle back to you for a moment. How do you respond to his vulnerability? Do you encourage it? Do you create a safe space for him to express himself free from judgment? Because here's the truth. When he opens up to you, it's not just a sign that he misses you. It's also an invitation to deepen your connection. It's his way of saying, "I trust you enough to show you this part of myself." The beauty of this vulnerability is that it goes hand in hand with emotional growth for both of you. By allowing himself to be open, he's not just strengthening the bond you share, he's also developing a deeper understanding of his own emotions. And for you, witnessing this side of him can be a powerful reminder of how much your presence impacts his life. So the next time you notice him letting down his guard, take a moment to appreciate what that means. It's not just a fleeting sign of missing you, it's a profound expression of how much he values the connection you share. Vulnerability, after all, is one of the purest forms of emotional intimacy, and when a man is willing to be vulnerable with you, it's because he knows you're worth it. 4. Subtle displays of jealousy. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed a shift in his tone when you mention spending time with someone else? Or maybe a slight hesitation when he hears about your plans? These subtle moments might seem insignificant at first, but they can reveal something profound. He misses you so much that even the thought of losing your attention stings. Here's the truth about jealousy. While too much of it can be toxic, a little bit of jealousy can actually be a sign of how much he values you. When a man misses you deeply, he's hyper-aware of anything or anyone that could pull your attention away. And no, he's not going to come right out and say, "I don't like you hanging out with that guy," but you'll catch it in his subtle reactions. It's those little pauses, the curious questions, or the slightly protective vibe he gives off when you talk about other people in your life. For example, imagine this. You're casually talking about a fun dinner you had with friends, and you mention one particular friend by name. Suddenly he perks up, asking questions like, "Who else was there?" or "How often do you guys hang out?" He's not interrogating you, he's just trying to gauge if his place in your life is still secure. This is one of the most common ways subtle jealousy shows up. It's not loud or dramatic, it's quiet, almost shy. But make no mistake, it's rooted in his fear of losing the connection he cherishes so much with you. Now, let's talk about social media. Have you ever noticed how he reacts to your posts? Maybe he's quick to comment on your selfies, especially when you look particularly stunning. Or perhaps he sends you a DM about your latest story, asking about the event you were at or the people you were with. These actions might seem small, but they're his way of staying close to you and, let's be honest, subtly marking his territory. It's his way of saying, "Hey, I see you and I care." But here's where things get really interesting. Jealousy doesn't always look like questions or comments. Sometimes it's in his silence. Let's say you mention hanging out with a male coworker or a friend, and instead of asking questions, he becomes quieter than usual. This kind of reaction might seem puzzling at first, but it's his way of processing his emotions. He doesn't want to overreact or make you feel uncomfortable, but he can't help but feel a little twinge of insecurity. That silence, it's his internal struggle, his heart missing you and his mind trying to play it cool. And let's not forget the way jealousy can push him to step up his game. When a man feels like he's competing for your attention, even on a subconscious level, it often inspires him to put in more effort. You might notice him being more attentive, initiating plans, or complimenting you more than usual. It's his way of reminding you, "Hey, I'm here. I want to be the one who makes you smile." But why does this happen? Why does missing someone make jealousy surface? The answer lies in the human psyche. When we value someone, the thought of losing them, even just their attention, triggers a protective instinct. It's not about control, it's about connection. And while jealousy is often painted in a negative light, it's actually a natural emotion that, when expressed healthily, can strengthen relationships. After all, isn't it nice to know that someone cares so much about you that they're afraid of losing you? Of course, it's important to strike a balance. Healthy jealousy is rooted in love and respect, not possessiveness or control. A man who practices Stoicism and understands the principles of Stoic dating knows this. He values your independence and trusts you, but his feelings of longing and care naturally make him protective of what you share. This balance between respect and subtle jealousy is what makes his emotions genuine and endearing. So, here's the big question. Have you seen these signs in your own life? Does he ask those curious little questions, react to your posts, or show up with a renewed effort to win your attention? If so, it's a clear sign that he misses you and values your connection deeply. If this resonates with you, let me know by liking this video and dropping a comment with number 1 below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more insights like this. Every week I share tips and stories that help you navigate the complexities of love, attraction, and relationships with confidence. Stick around, there's so much more to uncover, and you won't want to miss a single moment. Now, let's move on to the next sign, where things start to get even more meaningful. Are you ready? Let's keep going. 5. Genuine interest in your well-being. When a man misses you, something beautiful happens. His care for you deepens. It's no longer just about wanting to hear your voice or see your face. It becomes about your overall well-being. He starts to pay attention to the little things that make up your world, and he shows you, in his own unique way, that he genuinely cares. Have you ever noticed him asking about your day, not just casually, but with real curiosity? Maybe it's something as simple as, how was that meeting you were nervous about? Or did you get enough rest last night? These questions might seem small, but they carry a profound message. You matter to me. Even when we're apart, I want to make sure you're okay. This isn't about him trying to keep tabs on you. It's about him wanting to stay connected to your life in the most meaningful way possible. Let's talk about how this interest often shows up unexpectedly. Maybe you've mentioned feeling a little under the weather, and the next thing you know, he's suggesting remedies or reminding you to take care of yourself. Or perhaps you casually mentioned a big project at work weeks ago, and he remembers to ask how it went. These moments aren't accidental, they're intentional. He's storing these details about your life because he's invested in you, and missing you makes that investment even more evident. But his care doesn't stop at words. When he genuinely misses you, his actions reflect his concern for your well-being. Maybe he offers to help you with something you've been struggling with, or he surprises you with a thoughtful gesture, like sending your favorite coffee or checking in when he knows you're having a tough day. These acts aren't about impressing you, they're about supporting you. He's showing you that even when you're apart, he's still in your corner. Now, let's go a little deeper. Have you ever noticed how he reacts when you're upset? If he truly misses you, he won't just shrug it off or offer a generic "I hope you feel better." Instead, he'll listen carefully, ask thoughtful questions, and try to help you work through whatever's bothering you. His interest in your emotional well-being is a powerful indicator of how much he values you and the connection you share. There's something incredibly comforting about this kind of care, isn't there? It's like having someone who sees not just your highs, but also your lows and stays by your side through it all. When a man misses you, he doesn't want to miss a single detail about your life, no matter how small. He wants to be the person you turn to, the one who lifts you up when things get tough. That kind of emotional presence speaks volumes about his feelings. And let's not forget the way he encourages you to take care of yourself. Maybe he reminds you to eat when you're busy or encourages you to take a break when you're overwhelmed. These little nudges aren't about nagging, they're about wanting the best for you. It's his way of saying, even when I'm not there, I want you to thrive. This aligns beautifully with the principles of Stoicism, where care and love are expressed through quiet but steady support. There's also an undeniable connection between missing someone and valuing their happiness. Have you noticed him celebrating your wins, no matter how small? Maybe it's a quick text saying, "I'm so proud of you," or a more elaborate gesture to show how much he admires your hard work. When a man misses you, he doesn't just want to be part of your life, he wants to uplift it. His interest in your happiness becomes part of how he copes with the distance, reminding himself of the joy you bring into his world. And here's the real beauty of it. This kind of care isn't fleeting. It's not something he does just to fill the gap of missing you. Instead, it's a reflection of how deeply you've impacted him. He's showing you that your well-being isn't just a priority for him when you're around. It's something he thinks about even when you're not. That level of care is rare, and it speaks volumes about the depth of his feelings. So, the next time you notice him asking those thoughtful questions or going out of his way to make your day a little brighter, take a moment to appreciate what that means. He's not just showing interest, he's showing love in its most genuine form. And when you have someone like that in your life, it's a connection worth cherishing. Because at the end of the day, isn't that what we all want? Someone who sees us, supports us, and misses us enough to make our well-being their priority. 6. Unexpected reminders of you. Have you ever been casually going about your day when you receive a message that makes you stop and smile? Maybe it's something simple like, "This song reminded me of you," or "I just saw your favorite food and thought of you." These little moments aren't coincidences. They're signs that he's missing you in the most tender, genuine way. When a man truly misses you, everything around him seems to remind him of you. A song playing on the radio, a random joke he hears, or even a certain scent, it all brings his mind back to you. These reminders become his way of feeling close to you, even when you're miles apart. And when he shares these moments with you, it's his subtle way of saying, "You're always on my mind." Think about this. He's walking through a store and sees your favorite brand of coffee. Instead of just passing by, he snaps a picture and sends it to you with a message like, "This made me think of you. Miss you." It's a small gesture, sure, but the meaning behind it is huge. He doesn't just see the coffee, he sees you. His mind connects everyday things to the memories and feelings you've shared, and he can't help but let you know. But here's where it gets even more heartfelt. These reminders aren't just about the things you love, they're also about the moments you've created together. Maybe he texts you something like, "I drove past that restaurant we went to last month. Can't wait to go back with you." Or, "Remember that movie we watched? I just saw a trailer for the sequel." What he's really doing here is holding on to the connection you've built, anchoring himself in those shared experiences because they make him feel closer to you. And don't overlook how these reminders often come with a touch of vulnerability. Have you ever noticed him sending these messages late at night or during quiet moments? That's because these reminders strike him hardest when he's alone, when he's most in tune with his emotions. It's in those moments that missing you feels almost overwhelming, and his way of coping is to let you know you're still present in his world, even if only through a memory. Now, let's talk about why this matters. These reminders show that he's not just thinking of you, he's actively trying to keep your connection alive. When someone misses you deeply, they don't let time or distance dilute what you share. Instead, they look for ways to bridge the gap, even if it's just through a quick text or a shared memory. This effort speaks volumes about how much he values you and how much he wants you to feel that value. Here's another layer to this. These reminders aren't just about the past, they're also about the future. When he shares something that reminds him of you, he's not just reminiscing, he's also hinting at his desire to create more moments with you. For instance, when he says something like, "This song reminds me of us," what he's really saying is, "I can't wait to make more memories like this with you." It's his way of holding on to hope and showing you that his feelings are consistent and genuine. But let me ask you, how do you feel when you get these messages? Does it make you smile? Does it make you feel seen and cherished? That's exactly his intention. He wants you to know that even in the little things, like a song, a scent, or a random encounter, he's thinking of you. These reminders aren't just about his emotions, they're also about making sure you feel connected to him, even when you're apart. And let's not forget how effortlessly charming these gestures can be. When a man shares these moments with you, it's like he's letting you in on a secret, his secret world, where you're the star. This kind of connection is rare and deeply meaningful. It's not about grand declarations or over-the-top gestures. It's about the quiet, constant ways he lets you know you're in his heart. So the next time you receive one of these unexpected reminders, take a moment to appreciate what it means. He's not just thinking of you, he's choosing to share that thought with you, to make you a part of his world, even when you're not physically there. That's the kind of love and care that deserves to be recognized. If this resonates with you, let me know by liking this video and dropping a comment with number 1 below. And if you're finding these insights helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. We're diving deep into what makes relationships thrive, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Trust me, the next sign is a game changer. Let's keep going. 7. Prioritizes you over convenience. When a man truly misses you, convenience is the last thing on his mind. He's not just looking for an easy way to stay connected. He's willing to go the extra mile, both literally and figuratively, to show you how much you mean to him. This isn't about obligation, it's about genuine effort. And when someone prioritizes you over their own comfort, it's one of the clearest signs of how deeply they feel your absence. Think about it. In today's world, where everyone is busy juggling work, friends, family, and personal goals, making someone a priority speaks volumes. If he's rearranging his schedule just to call you after a long day, or driving hours to see you for even a short visit, it's not just a coincidence. It's intention. He's choosing you time and again because the thought of not being close to you, even for a little while, is unbearable. Let's break this down a bit further. Have you ever noticed how he makes adjustments to fit you into his life, even when it's not convenient? Maybe he cancels other plans because he knows it's the only time you're available. Or maybe he sacrifices sleep to stay on the phone with you late into the night, listening to you talk about your day or sharing his thoughts. These aren't small things. They're acts of love, and they all stem from how much he values your presence in his life. But it's not just about grand gestures or time. Sometimes prioritizing you shows up in the smallest, quietest ways. Maybe he takes a detour on his way home to pick up something that reminds him of you, or he steps away from a crowded room just to send you a quick text. These moments may seem insignificant, but they're anything but. They show that even in the chaos of his day, you're the constant in his mind. You're the one he's thinking about, even when no one else is watching. Here's where it gets even more meaningful. When a man misses you, his priorities shift, not just temporarily, but in a way that reflects how much he values the connection you share. This isn't about being impulsive or neglecting other parts of his life. It's about balance. He still handles his responsibilities, but he makes room for you because you're not just an afterthought, you're someone he wants to build his life around. Have you ever felt the warmth of knowing someone is choosing you over convenience? It's not just about the effort, it's about the message behind it. He's saying you're worth it. Your happiness, your comfort, your presence in my life, it all matters more to me than anything else. That's not just love, that's devotion. Now, let's talk about the emotional impact this has on him. When he misses you and chooses to prioritize you, it's not just an act of care for you, it's also his way of easing his own longing. By making you a priority, he's reminding himself of the connection you share. It's his way of holding on to you, even when distance or time tries to pull you apart. There's also a deeper layer here that ties into the principles of Stoicism and Stoic dating. A man who values these principles understands that true connection isn't about convenience, it's about effort and intention. He's not chasing fleeting emotions or temporary satisfaction. Instead, he's focused on building something meaningful, something that lasts. And prioritizing you, even when it's not easy, is his way of showing that he's in it for the long haul. So, how does this look in real life? Maybe he's the one suggesting creative ways to stay connected when you're apart, like planning a virtual date or finding a show you can watch together remotely. Or maybe he's the one showing up for you in moments that matter most, even if it means dropping everything else. It's not about perfection, it's about showing up again and again, because he knows that you're worth every ounce of effort. When someone prioritizes you over convenience, it's a reflection of how deeply they value you. It's not about grand declarations or flashy gestures, it's about the quiet, consistent ways they show you that you matter. And when you see this in his actions, you know without a doubt that he's missing you in a way that's both profound and genuine. 8. Makes future plans with you. When a man truly misses you, his thoughts naturally drift toward the future, specifically, a future with you in it. It's one of the clearest signs that you occupy not only his present, but also his long-term vision. He doesn't just think about the time you've already spent together, he's planning for the moments you're yet to share. And trust me, that's a powerful sign of his feelings. Picture this, you're having a conversation and out of nowhere he says something like, "We should try that new restaurant when you're back in town," or "Let's plan a weekend getaway soon." These aren't just throwaway comments. They're his way of expressing his desire to keep you close, to create memories with you, and to ensure you're a part of what's coming next in his life. Have you noticed how he casually slips these plans into conversations? Maybe it's a holiday he wants to spend with you, or a concert he suggests you both attend. These moments aren't just about the plans themselves, they're about his need to remind you that he sees you as part of his future. It's his way of saying, you're not just someone I miss in the moment, you're someone I want by my side for what's ahead. Let's dive a little deeper. When he's making these plans, he's not just trying to fill his calendar. He's prioritizing experiences that involve you because they make him feel closer to you. Whether it's planning a simple coffee date or dreaming about a far-off vacation, these actions reflect his longing to keep your bond alive and thriving. And even if the plans are small, the sentiment behind them is anything but. But it's not just about the plans themselves, it's about the way he involves you in his vision. Have you ever noticed how he asks for your input or checks if you're free before committing to something? That's because he wants you to feel included, valued, and as excited about the future as he is. He's not just thinking for himself, he's thinking as part of a team, a partnership. That kind of effort speaks volumes about his feelings. And here's the thing, making future plans isn't always about specific events. Sometimes it's about the way he speaks to you. Maybe he says things like, I can't wait to show you this place I love, or you'd love this, you have to see it someday. These aren't just random statements. They're glimpses into the way he's already imagining your future together. And when he talks like that, it's clear that missing you has only strengthened his desire to keep you in his life. Let's not forget how this ties into emotional security. When a man misses you and makes plans for the future, he's also reassuring himself. By thinking ahead, he's creating a sense of stability and closeness, even in moments when you're apart. It's his way of coping with the distance while also building anticipation for the time you'll spend together. It's thoughtful, intentional, and incredibly meaningful. Now, I want you to think about this. When someone includes you in their future plans, how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel cherished, valued, and seen? That's exactly what he's aiming for. He wants you to know that you're not just a fleeting part of his life, you're someone he's willing to invest in, emotionally and otherwise. And let's be honest, that's the kind of reassurance we all need, especially in moments of doubt or distance. Here's where Stoicism and Stoic dating come into play. A man grounded in these principles doesn't make future plans lightly. He understands the value of being intentional and ensuring that his actions align with his words. When he makes these plans, it's not about empty promises, it's about showing you that he's serious about the connection you share. His actions are deliberate, thoughtful, and rooted in a desire to build something meaningful with you. If this resonates with you, if you've seen these signs in your own life, let me know by liking this video and dropping a comment with number 1 below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more insights like this. Every week we dive deeper into understanding the dynamics of love, attraction, and emotional connection. There's so much more to uncover, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's move on to the next sign, because if you thought this one was meaningful, the next will blow you away. 9. His body language changes when you're around. When a man truly misses you, his body often reveals what his words may not. The way he moves, the way he looks at you, even the way he positions himself when you're near. All these subtle cues speak volumes about his feelings. It's like his physical presence is magnetized toward you, a silent but undeniable signal of how much he's missed having you close. Have you ever noticed how his eyes linger on you when you're together after time apart? There's a warmth, a spark, and sometimes even a softness in his gaze. It's as if he's soaking in every detail, committing the moment to memory, because he knows how much he's longed for it. This isn't just about attraction, it's about admiration and connection. His eyes tell a story of how much he values the time he gets to spend with you. And then there's the way he leans in when you talk. It's subtle, but it's there. His body naturally tilts toward you, closing the space between you. Even in a crowded room, he positions himself so that you're the center of his attention. This isn't something he's consciously doing, it's an instinctive response, a physical reflection of how much he craves being close to you. Have you ever caught him finding small ways to touch you? Maybe it's a hand on your shoulder, a light brush of his fingers against yours, or an arm around your waist when you're walking. These gestures might seem small, but they're incredibly intimate. They're his way of grounding himself in your presence, of silently communicating how much he's missed the connection that only physical closeness can bring. Let's talk about his smile. When a man misses you, his smile around you is different. It's not just polite or automatic, it's genuine and full of emotion. You'll notice it in the way his eyes light up, the slight pause before he smiles, as though he's taking in the moment before letting his happiness show. That kind of smile is rare, and it's a clear indicator of how deeply your presence affects him. But body language isn't just about the obvious cues, it's also about what happens when he thinks you're not looking. Maybe you catch him glancing at you from across the room or watching you with a quiet intensity when you're distracted. These moments are raw and unguarded, revealing just how much he's missed having you near. It's as if his body betrays the emotions he tries so hard to keep in check. And let's not overlook how his energy changes when you're around. Have you ever felt a shift in the atmosphere when he's near you? Maybe he stands a little taller, his movements more purposeful, or his voice softens when he speaks to you. These are all subtle but powerful ways his body reflects the joy and relief of being close to someone he's missed. It's not something he can fake, it's a natural reaction to how much you mean to him. There's also a deeper layer to this. Body language is one of the most honest forms of communication because it's hard to control. A man who's mastered emotional balance, perhaps influenced by principles like Stoicism, might not always vocalize how much he's missed you, but his body will tell the story for him. His gestures, his posture, and his proximity all reflect the pull he feels toward you. Have you noticed how he mirrors your movements when you're together? This subconscious action is one of the strongest signs of connection. It shows that he's tuned into you, aligned with your energy, and seeking to create a sense of harmony between you. Whether it's leaning forward when you lean forward or matching your pace when you walk, these small actions reveal a deeper longing to stay connected. And finally, let's talk about the moments when he struggles to leave. Have you ever noticed how he lingers at the end of a conversation or hesitates when saying goodbye? That pause, that reluctance to let go, is one of the clearest signs of how much he's missed you. It's as if every part of him wants to hold on to the moment just a little longer, knowing how much he'll long for it again once you're apart. His body language is more than just physical, it's an unspoken language of affection, longing, and appreciation. When a man misses you, his body becomes an extension of his emotions, communicating in ways words cannot. And when you start to notice these signs, you'll see just how deeply his feelings run. Sometimes, the most powerful connections are the ones that don't need to be said, they're simply felt. 10. You're always on his mind. When a man truly misses you, it's not just about fleeting moments of longing, it's about a constant presence in his thoughts. You become the person he thinks about when he's drinking his morning coffee, driving to work, or winding down at the end of the day. This is the kind of connection that goes beyond the surface. It's deep, consuming, and undeniable. Have you ever noticed how he brings you up in conversations even when you're not there? Maybe he mentions something you said, recalls a funny moment you shared, or tells others about your quirks in the most affectionate way. These aren't random mentions, they're his way of keeping you close to him even when you're apart. It's like every part of his world reminds him of you, and he can't help but let it show. When someone is always on your mind, they influence how you see the world. That's why you might notice him associating everyday things with you. A song, a movie, even a certain scent. These all become little triggers that bring you to the forefront of his thoughts. And when he tells you about them, it's his way of sharing the depth of his emotions, of letting you know how much space you occupy in his mind and heart. Let's not forget how this constant thought of you influences his behavior. Have you ever noticed him sending random texts or calling unexpectedly just to hear your voice? Maybe it's a simple "hey, thinking of you," or a more heartfelt message about how much he's looking forward to seeing you again. These little moments aren't just about staying in touch, they're about letting you know that you're the center of his emotional world. And here's something even more meaningful. When he misses you, his thoughts often turn to how he can make you feel special. Maybe he surprises you with a thoughtful gesture, remembers an important detail about your life, or plans something he knows you'll love. These aren't just acts of kindness, they're reflections of how much you mean to him. It's his way of saying, "I've been thinking about you so much, and I want you to feel it." There's also the way he talks about the future. Have you noticed him weaving you into his plans, even casually? Maybe he says things like, "We should check out that place next time," or "You'd love this, let's do it together someday." These aren't just offhand remarks. They're his way of imagining a life where you're not just a fleeting presence but a constant companion. And that's one of the most beautiful signs of someone who truly misses you. They can't picture a future without you in it. When you're always on his mind, it also shows in the way he reacts to your struggles or challenges. Maybe you've had a tough day, and he checks in to see how you're doing or offers support in ways that feel deeply personal. This kind of care goes beyond the surface. It's about understanding what you need and being there for you, even if he can't physically be present. It's his way of showing that no matter where he is, he's always thinking of you. Let's pause for a moment. How does it feel to know you're on someone's mind this much? Does it bring a sense of warmth, security, and connection? That's exactly what he wants you to feel. By letting you know how much he thinks of you, he's creating a bond that goes beyond words, a bond that's built on love, respect, and genuine care. This kind of deep emotional connection ties beautifully into the principles of Stoicism and Stoic dating, where actions and intentions speak louder than fleeting emotions. A man who lives by these values doesn't just let you know he misses you in the moment, he shows it consistently, thoughtfully, and with purpose. His feelings are steady and grounded, reflecting a love that's built to last. So, what does this mean for you? If you've noticed that he's always finding ways to remind you of how much you mean to him, it's a sign of something rare and meaningful. Cherish it, because this kind of connection isn't something that comes along every day. If this resonates with you, if you've seen these signs in your own life, let me know by liking this video and dropping a comment with number 1 below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content that dives deep into the emotional dynamics of relationships. Together, we'll explore what it means to love, connect, and truly understand the people who matter most. There's so much more to uncover, and I can't wait to share it with you. When a man truly misses you, it's more than just fleeting emotions or temporary longing. It's woven into everything he does. His actions, his words, his body language, and even the way he plans for the future all reflect the depth of his feelings. Each sign we've explored reveals a different layer of his heart, showing you just how much you mean to him. From the subtle gestures that keep you connected, to the ways he prioritizes you over convenience, and the quiet vulnerability he shows when he lets his guard down, each of these moments is a testament to his care for you. These aren't just passing emotions, they're the marks of someone who sees you as an irreplaceable part of his life. Now, take a moment to reflect. Have you noticed these signs in someone special? Does he make an effort to stay connected, prioritize your happiness, or include you in his plans for the future? If the answer is yes, you're witnessing something rare and beautiful, a genuine emotional connection built on thoughtfulness, respect, and love. The beauty of these signs lies in their authenticity. They're not about grand, performative gestures or empty words. They're about consistent, meaningful actions that show he's thinking of you even when you're not around. They're about the quiet ways he ensures you feel seen, heard, and valued. Because when someone misses you deeply, they want you to know it in every way possible. Remember, love isn't just about saying the words, it's about showing them through actions that make you feel cared for and cherished. And when you see these signs in someone, you can be sure of one thing. You're not just on his mind, you're in his heart. If this video has helped you recognize these signs or sparked new insights about your relationship, let me know by liking this video and leaving a comment with below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and stories, because we all deserve to feel this kind of connection. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos that decode the mysteries of love, attraction, and relationships. Together, we'll uncover the truths that make us stronger, more confident, and more in tune with the connections that truly matter. Thank you for watching, and remember, you're worthy of love that feels real, deep, and lasting. See you in the next video.